They said Jay-Z was my dad. They said,
oh, we out here on vacation in the Bahamas, another beautiful day. Check it out, check it out. Boom. I want to talk to y'all for a minute about the power of perception.
Versus... Whoa, wait, don't give away too much, man. Yeah, okay, I can say clone, I want to say clone. All right, so there's like a clone Bang Lee.
The Epstein files reveal the largest genocide in human history, and it is being hidden from your eyes. 8 million children go missing every single year. Look at all these people with black eyes. Politicians, your famous actors, the Pope, high-level people. They all participate. This is an email from the Epstein files. All you need is a blood transfusion from the pack and you reverse aging.
Do you think you're the devil himself?
No, but I do have a good mirror.
It's a serious question.
Sorry.
Do you think you're the devil himself?
I don't know. Why would you say that?
Is your money dirty money?
If you live,
I just asked a question. Is your money dirty money?
No, it's not. So, in fact,
why is it not dirty money?
Because I earned it. My heart.
But you earned it.
I canceled me for talking about Harvey Weinstein before the thing came out, but he offered to suck my in front of all my people at my agency. What am I supposed to do? He did all of that. I'm thinking I'm the only black person on the script. I get there, there's 3 other black guys on there. Ooh.
So you wonder what they did?
I told him no. What y'all do? And this is why when I walk in a room, heads go down.
They do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mills, Bryshere Gray, left that house screaming. August the only one that stayed, and I guess he was really sick. He needed a dog.
My husband was doing things to boys and did stuff to your son, and you ain't do shit about it. Bilal told me everything.
Their good friend who...
Bilal told me, Jay, he told me that you knew Will was f***ing your child, as he did. Wonder why he left that out of his Tasha K interview.
In that interview, he said a lot. He said a lot.
He said everything but the thing that was important. That he know that Will Smith, Jaden, he Bryshere and he Meek Mills, and you know it, Bilal. Now I don't get no how far in the desert you run. You'll go from a Philly to a sand, but they'll still get you.
He's Philly though, Jay. It's Philly.
He Meek Milk. As far as I'm concerned, he Meek Milk. I ain't calling him Mill no more. That's milk. That's Meek Milk. Added to the honeycomb. You got a meal.
So you believe the Dwayne Martin story that could have happened?
Of course, everybody knows.
Andy, I'm talking about Bryshere's mom. I'ma kick you in your in and I'ma go to work North Philly style. Kill and Charlie. You happy now? He's a gay star. Are you happy now, Andy? For a book that didn't sell. I hope that new husband of yours leaves you. And maybe it's time you tell your son why his father is really in jail, his biological father, for all of his life and what you had to do with it. You CI that came to me and begged me for my help. I told her to get the f away from Charlie. I did everything that I could do to get Bryshere, to help her get Bryshere out of California into Chicago safe to be ready for filming. She knew she knew what Will did to him. But because of Charlie, see? And Charlie had promised her all kinds of things. And all she had to do was pretend to be a broken down single mom who worked her way up through the ghetto and raised a superstar for television, when the truth is she wasn't nothing but a dealer's. That's all she ever was. She went from dealer to dealer, and then she snitched on whoever she needed to snitch on until she could get to the bigger bag, until she got with Larry Lair, my friend who raised Bryshere in $1 million home. Your whole book is lies, Andy, and I hope anybody that bought it asks for refund and demands it comes out of your pocket every time they see your son's gate. You ain't Charlie Mack.
Yaz's mom brought Yaz to Charlie. And Charlie came and got me and was like, what you want to do? I started writing for Yaz, like that's why it makes me mad to see what's going on with him right now. Like I can't believe what I'm watching.
Right.
I can't believe what I'm watching. Like for you to flip that way and turn like you doing gay porn and like what is wrong with you, man? No disrespect to anybody gay, but it's just like
because it was him.
It's a kid I watched from a grow up, so it's like, and then it's like the mental issues that he have. You feel what I'm saying? I know he had mental issues. Like he ain't all the way there. So to watch all this happen, it's like, all right, where all the people that was around when the money
door to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne and having with Will.
Let me process that for a second.
There was a couch, and Will was bent over on the couch, and Dwayne was standing up. Murder, like it was murder. Chicago for Empire. It's a damn mess. It's no other way to put it. This dude is going crazy, right? He's out there allegedly with male prostitutes. He's pissing in the trailer. He's acting psychotic, right?
The same thing he's doing now.
Beyond that. But this is why a show is going on. I pull him to the side. I said, listen, I'm here to help you and so forth and so on. So he was like, all right, I feel that. He said, everybody on the set know you. Everybody seem like they love you. Okay. I want to love you because everybody else love you. I said, if that's what you want to do, then do it. But he kept acting up. And then one day I said, what the F is wrong with you? And he was like, you know. He said, you know Will me. You know Diddy made me suck it. You know what's going on. You know Charlie made me suck. And I said, I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea. So he crying, no is coming from his nose. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And I'm like, yo, listen. Somebody stole 2 hard drives from Jada's house. So now we get into why she's even more mad. Jada would watch at the houses. She had her laptop. She would stick her hard drive in, right? Boom, and hook it up to the TV. And she could play whatever video she watching. So I'm seeing videos of her and Will and a bunch of some celebrities, everything. Because remember, the last interview I told you, if you don't sue me, I'm going to let people know who you've been hitting with them deals. And I said, if you don't sue, I'm going to sue. So I told you, being Muslim, whatever I say I'm going to do, that's what I'm going to do. Period. And I got to have evidence. So she's sitting down here watching, playing with herself, high as a kite, right? Not caring who's in the house, whether kids watching, nothing. She's in her own world. So that's how I was able to see the tapes. I saw them, and I saw some things that were unreal, and I saw celebrities on the tape.
Ooh.
I'm under penalty of perjury. If anything in here is a lie, my ass going to jail. Period. There's no if, there's no ends, there's no buts. You know what you and Diddy was doing together in y'all younger years. All that's coming out.
Who else did you see allegedly on the tapes?
Tyrese with Will and Jada. Then the one with Charlie Mack and Will. Jada's not on it, but you can hear her say, make him spit up. Period. So when these tapes come out, people will know I'm telling. So it's time for everybody that got a credible story, I should say, to start.
Forget everything you thought you knew about Hollywood's golden mentorships, because what's bubbling to the surface right now is darker, messier, and way more explosive than anyone expected. The Epstein files cracked open a door that the industry swore was bolted shut, and now names are being whispered that nobody saw coming. From alleged secret mentorship programs to shocking on-set meltdowns, from powerful moguls to fallen child stars, the story of Bryshere Gray isn't just a downfall, it might be a warning. And if even half of these allegations are true, this isn't just scandal, it's a system. He was supposed to be the next big thing, the breakout star, the kid from Empire who had the charisma, the talent, and the industry backing to go all the way. Bryshere Gray wasn't just another young actor. He was positioned as the future. Red carpets, award shows, primetime television, cosigns from some of the most powerful names in Hollywood. And then something shifted. Today, instead of headlines about new roles, the stories surrounding him are about substance struggles, erratic behavior, police involvement, and an adult content career that left fans stunned. There were reports of emotional breakdowns, troubling live streams, even moments where authorities were called over concerns for his safety. The same young man who once stood under bright studio lights now appears to be fighting battles in public view, and the contrast is jarring. How does someone go from network television stardom to this? How does a rising star with the industry behind him spiral so visibly, so painfully? And the question that refuses to go away is the simplest. How did it go this wrong? To understand the unraveling, you have to go back to the moment everything seemed to be going right. At the height of Empire's success, Bryshere was reportedly pulled into what looked like the opportunity of a lifetime. Mentorship from elite Hollywood figures, including Will Smith and Diddy. On the surface, it was the kind of cosign young entertainers dream about. Two moguls with decades of influence taking a rising star under their wing? That wasn't suspicious, that was strategic. It looked like elevation, protection, guidance. In an industry known for chewing up young talent, this appeared to be a safety net. But Hollywood has always had a complicated relationship with the word mentorship. For every success story, there are quiet cautionary tales. Stories about private meetings, exclusive access, blurred boundaries between business and personal loyalty. At first, nothing seemed unusual. Bryshere was working, visible, still attached to major names. But gradually, fans began noticing shifts, erratic interviews, tension behind the scenes, energy that didn't match the confident young star they once saw. And that's when people started asking whether these powerful mentorship pipelines always lead where they claim to. Because in Hollywood, proximity to power can either launch you or trap you. But that's when the whispers started. The loudest voices didn't come from tabloids. They came from comedians and industry insiders who have built reputations on saying what others won't. Katt has long warned about what he calls the hidden culture of Hollywood. And while critics often label him controversial, his track record of calling out powerful figures before their scandals break has given some of his words new weight. He once claimed that Harvey Weinstein made inappropriate advances toward him early in his career, long before the world knew Weinstein's name for the reasons we do now. At the time, many dismissed it. Later, history forced a reevaluation. That pattern, early warning, public ridicule, eventual vindication, is part of why some people listen more closely now. Then there's Jaguar Wright, who has repeatedly alleged that young men in the industry were subjected to inappropriate environments under the guise of mentorship. She has claimed that Bryshere was one of them, alleging he experienced situations that left him emotionally shattered. According to her, there were incidents involving young artists leaving private gatherings visibly distressed, even screaming, and she has suggested that powerful connections help suppress broader scrutiny. These claims remain allegations, but they stack in unsettling ways. Mentorship, power imbalance, emotional fallout. One voice could be dismissed. Two becomes harder, especially when the pattern they describe echoes older Hollywood scandals that were once called conspiracy theories too. And then the conversation widened. Because once the Epstein files became public knowledge, the public's tolerance for dismissing elite misconduct shifted dramatically. Epstein's documented connections to politicians, billionaires, academics, and celebrities exposed the uncomfortable reality that powerful networks can exist in plain sight for years without consequence. Suddenly, the idea of insulated social circles, private gatherings, and alleged exploitation didn't sound so far-fetched. Online speculation began drawing alleged parallels between known Epstein associates and other influential entertainment figures, though it's important to stress that speculation is not proof. Still, the cultural mood had changed. People began asking broader questions about whether the entertainment industry operates within its own protected ecosystem, one where narratives can be managed, stories buried, and reputations shielded by wealth and influence. When powerful names are repeatedly linked, even loosely, to environments described as secretive or excessive, suspicion grows whether justified or not. The Bryshere story, once seen as a tragic individual downfall, started being discussed as a possible piece of something bigger. Not confirmed, not proven, but situated in a climate where audiences no longer instinctively dismiss allegations involving elite circles. And when public trust erodes, every coincidence feels intentional. Now, the tension isn't just about one actor's spiral. It's about a culture that has time and time again revealed that influence can delay accountability. It's about how mentorship can blur into control. It's about whether young talent is always protected or sometimes positioned. And as more historical scandals continue to validate once dismissed whistleblowers, the line between paranoia and pattern becomes harder to define. Bryshere Gray's story may ultimately have explanations that are far more personal than conspiratorial. But in an era shaped by the exposure of powerful hidden networks, people are looking at Hollywood differently. The real question may not just be what happened to him, but what kind of system he was navigating when it did. Then came the interviews that changed the temperature completely. Because up until this point, most of the conversation lived in the realm of implication, whispers, warnings, vague references to what really goes on. But when Will Smith's former friend, Brother Bilal, began speaking publicly, the tone shifted from coded language to explicit accusation. At first, many dismissed him. Social media labeled it bitterness, a fallout, a former insider looking for relevance. But then he started giving details, not just general claims, but specific stories, locations, timelines. And whether people believed him or not, they couldn't ignore him. In one interview, Bilal alleged that he personally witnessed compromising situations involving major Hollywood names. He described walking in on an intimate encounter between Will Smith and actor Dwayne Martin, a claim that immediately sent shockwaves online. He didn't hedge. He didn't soften it. He painted a picture so vivid that even skeptics had to pause. And that was just the beginning. In a separate appearance, he alleged that Bryshere, while working in Chicago during Empire, confided in him during an emotional breakdown. According to Bilal, Bryshere claimed he had been pressured into sexual acts by powerful industry figures during his mentorship period. These are serious allegations, and proven and denied by those implicated, but the specificity of Bilal's storytelling made it harder for the internet to simply scroll past. What made some people start taking him more seriously wasn't just the shock value. It was the risk. Bilal repeatedly stated he was speaking under penalty of perjury, implying he understood the legal consequences of lying. He claimed to have seen tapes, claimed to have firsthand knowledge, claimed that more would eventually surface. And in the era after Epstein, after Weinstein, after decades of scandals that once sounded unbelievable, audiences have become more cautious about dismissing insiders outright. Still, contradictions emerged. Why speak now? Why not earlier? Why reveal such explosive claims in interview settings instead of courtrooms? Critics pointed out inconsistencies in timelines. Supporters countered that whistleblowers are rarely believed at first. The internet split in real time. Public reaction was immediate and intense. Some viewers were horrified, saying if even a fraction of the claims were true, it would permanently stain the legacy of one of Hollywood's most beloved actors. Others accused Bilal of chasing clout, weaponizing rumors, and exploiting public curiosity for attention. Longtime Will Smith fans expressed disbelief. They pointed to decades of carefully cultivated public image, the family man, the motivational speaker, the global superstar who rebuilt his brand after public embarrassment. But the climate has changed. In today's media landscape, reputation is no longer armor. Allegations alone can trigger reputational freefall. Social media became a battleground. One side argued that powerful men have historically hidden behind charm and influence. The other side insisted that extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof. Some users resurfaced old interviews, looking for hidden meanings. Others dissected body language. Think pieces began appearing. Comment sections filled with phrases like, "where there's smoke," while others warned against trial by internet. And through it all, Bryshere's name kept resurfacing, not as an aggressor, but as a possible casualty. A young man whose public unraveling suddenly felt less random to those who believe the allegations. Meanwhile, there has been no verified evidence presented publicly confirming Bilal's most graphic claims. No charges filed tied to those specific accusations. No court rulings validating them. Just interviews, denials, and a rapidly shifting court of public opinion. And that's what makes this moment so volatile. Because if Bilal is fabricating these stories, the legal consequences could be devastating. Defamation at this scale isn't a small matter. But if he isn't, if even part of what he's alleging is rooted in truth, then this wouldn't just be scandal. It would be systemic exposure at the highest level of Hollywood power. If he's lying, that's defamation. If he's telling the truth, that's something else entirely. The broader fallout is already visible. Will Smith's reputation, once considered nearly untouchable, now exists in a more fragile space. After the Oscars incident, public perception had already shifted. Now, layered allegations, even unproven, add weight to an already complicated narrative. Brand partnerships, future casting decisions, public goodwill, all of it exists in a delicate balance. Hollywood has always thrived on image management, but image is harder to control in the age of viral interviews and independent platforms. And it forces a bigger conversation that goes beyond one actor, one comedian, or one whistleblower. Is Hollywood truly cleaning house after years of exposed misconduct? Or are only certain figures sacrificed while others remain protected? Why do so many young stars enter the industry full of promise and exit carrying visible trauma? How many mentorships are truly about guidance? And how many are about access? Bryshere Gray's story may ultimately prove to be personal tragedy, industry pressure, poor choices, or something else entirely. But in an era where secrecy has repeatedly been mistaken for protection, audiences are asking harder questions. Because when fame, power, and vulnerability intersect behind closed doors, history has shown that the truth rarely surfaces gently. And maybe the real question isn't just what happened to Bryshere, but how many similar stories never made it this far.